Hey Aphobas, Tommy and Alex here. We're here to talk to you about 21.1, the CrossFit Open. It's here, guys. We're here, so we're going to talk to you first of all. The RX, as you know the numbers, is 1, 3, 6, 9, 15, 21 of your wall walks. And then you're putting a 0 on the end of each for your double unders. Okay? And the scaled is for the scale athletes. It's scaled wall walks and single unders. Okay? And then for the foundations, we've got bear crawls and jumping jacks. And finally, the equipment free is also wall walks and lateral jumps. Okay, so now Alex is going to take over. We're now going to run through each of the movements of the wall walks.
Alright guys, so starting with the wall walk. So the first thing we need to speak about is the distance you need to be from the wall with the tape. So that's where your hands are going to be. So we have two pieces of tape here on the floor. Our first piece of tape is closest to the wall, and this bit of tape is going to be 10 inches away from the wall. So this is the point at which your hands need to meet when you walk yourself up the wall. So 10 inches away. We then have the furthest most piece of tape, and that is going to be the tip of Tommy's shoulder. So Tommy lies down for us with his feet against the wall. He's lying flat, and this piece of tape at the bottom comes to the tip of Tommy's shoulders here. So that is for Tommy. It would be different for me because I'm a bit taller, so it's specific to everybody. So with the wall walk RX, we're walking ourselves all the way up the wall. First thing we want to think about and kind of focus our movement on is staying tight and engaged through that core. So we're staying hollow. Yes, we don't need to do that in terms of a movement standard point of view, but it's very important that we're engaging our core so we don't burn out and end up fatiguing too much and put pressure through the lower back. So starting position, we must have the hand, any part of the hand, in contact with the tape. So the fingertips is fine. From here, Tommy is going to bring himself up off the floor, so piking up from the hips. And then his fingers must stay in contact with the tape. He's going to bring both feet up the wall. And now he may start moving his hands. And he's going to walk his toes and his hands until his hands touch the tape. Again, any part. He's going to reverse this movement. So he's going to walk his hands and his toes down from the wall until his fingers or hands touch the tape. He then may bring his feet off the wall, and he completes the rep by bringing his chest, his thighs, and his feet in contact with the floor. So that is one completed rep, ensuring we're hitting those, touching the tape throughout. Now, for the scaled wall walk, it is scaled in terms of height, so we're not walking so far up the wall. We have a piece of tape here. This must measure in 2 inches, and it's starting from that same point of the shoulders. So Tommy's hands, for the scaled wall walk, must start in front of the tape. He's still lying flat on the floor, feet touching the wall, but this time his hands must start in front of the tape. He's going to initiate through the same thing, so he's going to bring his hips up, and his hands up. He's then going to bring his feet off the wall, his hands still on the wall, his hands still in front of the tape, and then he walks his hand behind the tape. That's his completed wall walk. He then brings his feet and his hands down, and once his hands pass the tape, he can then bring his feet off the wall, and again, back into that bottom position. So the scaled version is decreasing the height. We then have your third option, and the third option is bear crawls. So with the bear crawl, 1 rep is 5 feet. So we've measured out here 5 feet, so we know exactly how far Tommy's got to go. And as we know, guys, with the bear crawl, it's important that we're hinging from the hips and we're pushing hard through the shoulders. So we're mimicking what we're doing here onto the wall, but we're hinging from the hips. So Tommy's hands and feet need to start behind the front, the rear line, and he's going to push his hips back, bring his hands to the floor. From here, he's going to lead with his hips, so his hips are leading the motion as he keeps his feet, his knees as flat as he can, and walks forwards. Big steps will be better here, guys, and he completes the rep once his feet have passed that line. So that is 5 feet, that's 1 rep. So the first rep is completed. We then obviously have to repeat the distance, turn around and go back, or keep going if you know you have the distance to be able to go further. So wall walks and the variations, the bear crawl, covered. We're now going to move on to Tommy talking about your double unders, single unders, and lateral jumps.
Okay guys, now we're going to move on to the second movement, okay? So Alex has been through all the options of that first movement. We're now going into that second movement. As we know, those numbers are increasing, putting a 0 at the end. So we're getting 10, 30, 60, 90, 150 and 210. Okay, we're going to start off with the RX version, which is those double unders. Okay, so Alex will just demo through as we jump through, making sure that rope passes under his feet twice. Okay, only successful jumps count. Goes without saying, guys. And no rep is if you fail. Okay, so if you jump and you catch yourself, it's a no rep. Okay, the scaled option of those is those single unders. Okay, so same things apply. It's just got to pass through once. Okay, all the way around, just getting those nice high jumps once through. Okay, if he catches himself, then he will count it as a no rep. Okay, then he will continue. Right, and then for those non-equipment, okay, the non-equipment, it's lateral jumps. Those lateral jumps, as Alex said, this line must be 2 inches wide if you're doing the lateral jumps. So that line that's furthest away on those wall walks must be 2 inches wide, and that's for those lateral jumps. Okay, so we're going to start off. Alex is going to go for a 2-footed jump as he jumps over and back. Okay, this is the important thing, guys. One rep is there and back. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay, so 1 rep is 2 jumps, there and back, 1 rep. Okay, and to finish off, guys, on that foundations, we're doing jumping jacks. Okay, so Alex brings himself forward into those jumping jacks. We're going to start off with feet nice and close together, by his hands by his side, and as he comes out, he's going to bring his hands above his head, they meet in the middle, and his feet are going to come to about shoulder width apart. And as you jump through, that's 1 rep. Okay, so 2, 3, 4. We get the gist of it. Okay, so guys, that's the standards of the 21.1. Hopefully that is everything's clear for you guys. If not, please reach out to us. This is what we're here for. We're looking forward to it, guys. We'll see you all at 9 AM tomorrow morning. Thank you, guys.